Welcome, welcome, welcome to Story Time with me, Miss Sheila. I hope you're having a wonderful and beautiful day. Today's story is called Granny Came Here on the Empire Windrush. That's a big boat, big ship. So let's find out what she did. Ava's granny was the best singer in the world. She was always teaching Ava old songs from Trinidad, the Caribbean island where she'd grown up. On Sundays, Ava and Granny sang together at the top of their voices. They even opened the windows so everyone outside could hear. But today, Ava stopped halfway through her favorite song. "What's wrong, honey?" Granny asked. "I need to find a costume for school tomorrow. We have to dress up as someone we admire. I've been thinking about it all weekend, but I still don't know who I should be." "Ah," Granny said, "maybe I can help. Come with me." And Ava grinned. She knew exactly where they were going. To the trunk. A special trunk full of old clothes. The trunk where you could dive inside and come out as someone completely different. Granny lifted the heavy lid and rummaged inside. At last she held a necklace of bright, sparkling beads. "How about Winifred Atwell?" Granny asked. "She was from Trinidad like me." "Did she come on that Empire Windrush boat too, Granny?" "Oh, no," Granny said. "Winifred came to England a few years before the Empire Windrush. She was a famous musician and played the piano like a dream. When those stage lights hit her jewels, they shone like the stars back home." So this is Winifred. David stared at the necklace and tried to imagine it glowing around her neck like stars. She never heard of Winifred Atwell, though, so she could so how could Ava know if she admired her? "Can we try someone else, Granny?" This time they both leaned into the trunk and dug through their clothes. Granny pulled out a red scarf. "What about Mary Seagull? She's so important that there's a painting of her in a famous art gallery in London, and she's wearing a scarf just like this." Ava had heard of Mary Seagull. She was a nurse, just like Mummy and Daddy. "Yes," Granny said. "It was during the Crimean War. Mary Seagull wanted to help Florence Nightingale care for the British soldiers, but she was told she couldn't go. She went anyway and set up a hotel to look after the wounded men instead. And then she used the medical skills her mother had taught her to save hundreds of lives." Bravo, Mary. Granny wound the scarf around Ava's neck. Ava did admire Mary Seagull, but the only problem was that Ava's cousin Amor admired her too. "Sorry, Granny, I think Amor's dressing up as Mary Seagull." "Okay, honey, let's try again." Ava and Granny both leaned so far into the trunk that Ava thought they were going to fall right in. Granny lifted out a jacket. It was a little wrinkly and much too big for Ava. "How about Rosa Parks?" Granny asked. "You know her story, don't you?" "Yes, she wouldn't give up her seat on the bus for a white person." "Exactly so. In America, black people were only allowed to sit in the seats at the back of the buses. If a white person wanted their seat, the black person had to give it up. Rosa Parks said no and got arrested by the police. But in the end, Rosa helped change some very unfair laws. Rosa Parks was one of Ava's heroes, but everyone in Ava's school had heard of her. Ava even knew that two of her best friends were planning to dress up as Rosa Parks. Yes, because Rosa Parks, it was an incredible woman who made a huge difference in our world. I'm so thankful for her. Ava was getting ready to dive into the truck again when she spotted a small suitcase at the bottom, hidden beneath the clothes. She never noticed it before. What's this, Granny? Granny lifted it out and carefully laid it on the bed. Oh, this was my gripe. I brought it from Trinidad with me on the Empire Windrush. And Ava ran her hands across the suitcase. It's made of cardboard. Yes, I wish I knew who first thought it was a good idea to carry a cardboard suitcase to rainy England. Can we look inside? Of course, honey. Granny clicked the latches, first the right one, then the left, and Ava opened the suitcase wide. Everything in here was given to me as a present. A present, Ava thought, that these were very strange presents. An empty jar, smooth pebble, which is that one, a blue hat, and a pair of lace gloves underneath the pebble. See? Ava shook the jar. It really was empty. Who gave you this, Granny? This was my Tante Olive, Mamma's sister. She knew I would be on that big old boat for nearly a month before I reached England, so she filled a jar with dried orange peels to settle my stomach. With those waves rolled me from side to side, I opened this jar and breathed in the smell of oranges. Suddenly, it was like I was back in Tante's yard, laughing and my with my cousins. Wow, a whole month traveling to get from the Caribbean islands to England. A whole month by ship. Wow. Ava picked up the petal and let it rest in the palm of her hand. And this, Granny? A present from my little sister Marva. It was my birthday the day before I left Trinidad, and we went bathing in the river. Marva wanted me to think about her every time I swam in the River Thames. When we finally docked at Tilbury near London, and I saw that cold, smelly river jammed with boats, I knew that I would never be bathing in there. It's not like the oceans where she's from. The blue hat must have been much too small for Granny. It wouldn't even fit on Ava's head. Was this really yours? Granny laughed. My cousin Maureen was the same age as you are now. She made it especially for me to keep my head warm in England. I used to think of her little fingers sewing it when I went to work in the clothes factory. Every day it was the thud, 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 thud of the sewing machines in my ears. It made me want to march across land and see back to Trinidad. Even so, some ways I was lucky, Granny said. At least I had a place to stay. Some men I knew were turned away from lodgings again and again just because they were black. Ava slipped on one of the lace gloves. She wiggled her fingers around inside. These were for Ma? Granny sighed. Oh, sorry. I thought it was in Ava's voice. These were for Ma, Granny sighed. I was to save them for when I was had tea with the Queen. You met the Queen, Granny? No, honey. I didn't meet the Queen, but I did meet someone very special. In those first few months, I struggled so hard. Autumn came and all the trees died. I thought they would never wake up again. The cold wrapped itself around me and wouldn't let go. Especially if they're from a hot country, it's hard to get used to the cold. I missed my family and my sunshine and the mangoes warm from Taunt's olive tree. I missed the fireflies and the hummingbirds and the mountains glowing orange with blossoms. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I just wanted to go home. There she is sitting by a fountain. But you stayed, Granny. Yes, I stayed. Even when the clouds lay heavy, sunshine can still break through. I met your granddad. He was conductor on the bus that took me to work every day. At first, we would just smile at each other. Then it was good morning. Soon, in spite of the noise in the factory, I looked forward to my morning journey. Granny smiled, and my journey home, when he would cross the whole of London just to come and meet me. Oh, you never know when you're going to meet your special one. Granny wiggled her own hand into the other lace glove. Another winter, spring came again. The rain stopped and the sun was shining and the clouds lifted so high I could see the gold all around me. Real gold, Granny? Even better than real gold. Some people are more precious than all the gold in the world. Look at, she got married. So have you decided, Ava? Will it be Winifred, Mary, or Rosa? I have decided, Ava said, but it's not going to be any of them. I'm going to dress up as someone I admire even more. Oh my, Granny said. They must be really special. She is, Ava said. Can you guess who she's going to dress up as? Can you? Let's find out if you're right. It's someone who came to England on her own on a big old boat called the Empire Windrush. Someone who was cold, sad, and wanted to go back to the sunshine and her family in Trinidad. Someone who stayed and sings and makes me and everyone happy. So who does that remind you of? So there's one of her friends being Rosa Parks. And I think this one is being oh, what's her name? She's the oh, Bets. I think it's Betsy Coleman. She was the um, pilot. But Ava going to be her grandma, someone who is more precious than all the gold in the world. My granny. I so hope you enjoyed that story. And I hope that you will love on your grandma and your grandpa and your parents as well and your siblings. Until next time with me, Miss Sheila. Keep shining your light bright. Bye for now.